We're a bit early tonight, guys, so I need to finish a little bit earlier than expected. So we thought we'd start a little bit earlier. We'll wait for a few people to get in because, as you can see, there's no one in here yet.
There's one person.
Yeah. Reveal yourself. I know Corinne said she was going to pop in tonight. She said, I can't chat. She said, but I'll be listening.
Oh,
So,
that's
hey,
nice.
the True Crime Whisperer.
Good evening, True Crime Whisperer. I follow her.
Yeah, good. Yeah. I might actually just send her a message saying, because she's just said, but
Rachel, hi. Samantha, hi.
Hi guys, you're right.
Tracy, hi.
How is everybody?
Oh, I'm not Corinne. I think I'm a lot older than Corinne. She's young and beautiful, unlike myself.
Hey Jenny, I hope you're right. Hey. Yeah, she's much better. I think we're going to do a live on her channel on Sunday night, guys. So she's going to post something. She's much better now. We think we're going to do it at 8:30 on Sunday evening about Lucy Letby. So
Hi Samantha.
you're all right. Everyone's saying, oh yes, because we True Crime Whisperer. So yeah, I don't know. She said she was going to watch it. I've just messaged her now. She's not going to be able to. Thank you very much. No, she's not going to be able to be in the chat tonight because she's. I can't remember what she says she's doing actually. Why is she too busy for us? Hang on. I'll be watching. I won't be able to comment because I'm washing up and doing the food, but I'll be watching. Hope it all goes well. All right, we'll let you on.
How lovely.
Got kids.
Hi Samantha.
Oh, hey
Hi,
Rachel. Hey everybody. Samantha.
Hi Jenny. Did you read about Brianna Killers?
I think I saw something. I haven't looked into it. I saw something really briefly. Was that a boy and a girl?
Yes. Yeah, I think it was.
I don't know the ins and outs of it. Maybe we can do a catch up on that one. But Tracy, are you the one that's been? I've been talking. Hey Stacey, I hope you're well. I've been talking to about the Lucy one. If it is, me and Corinne me and the True Crime Whisperer are doing something on her channel on Sunday at 8:30. So, yeah, jump on for that one. Yeah, I thought it was you, Tracy. Yeah, we're doing something on Sunday. So we're finally getting around to your request.
Hi, Luminita.
I was about to say, how do I pronounce that? Hi.
I think it's Luminita. I'm not sure.
I'll just call you Tidy.
I should have done that.
Everybody good, yeah? We started a little bit early this evening. So, yeah, so tonight's topic really is like, do prisons actually work? Like, do sentences actually work for people? I think like most of you already know in my experience, yeah, like 101% it worked for me. Literally, if it wasn't for prison, I would still be selling drugs now.
Would you?
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%. Not that I'm proud to say it. But yeah, that's what I was just saying, Rachel. But yeah, 100%, because I would never have got out. If I was involved from the age of 13 and at 37 I was still doing it,
Right.
and I had skipped some jail sentences as well. Literally, God was on my side. No, we didn't make pancakes. No, I can't remember if we did in the kitchen. I didn't make them.
I don't think you can make pancakes in a kettle, can you, Fran?
No, we had a George Foreman.
Did you now?
Yeah, I got
Wow.
away with getting a George Foreman in the governor, man. She weren't happy. She come down, and she found out. She was like, "What officer let you have it in?"
Wow.
Yeah, and then she was like, "You get to the office now." And I followed over to the office. She was like, "Get out of the box." She was proper raging. So I was like, "Oh, all right, what's this like?" So I got out of the box. She was like, "You're lucky." I was like, "What?" Because I'm not rude, but I'm like naughty smirk. So I'm just like laughing, but trying not to laugh. She's like, "You're so lucky." And I was like, "Why?" She goes, "If there was one bit of food on there," she goes, I would have been confiscating it." She goes, "I'm telling you
Wow.
now." She said, "The minute I come down here, Fran, and I do a check on it," she goes, "it's getting confiscated if there's any food on it." So, yes, but obviously it was the eggs, but the girls used to either steal the eggs from the kitchen or, like, yeah, just get them basically steal from the kitchen. I think prison makes or breaks you. Do you know what, Tracy? It's not about, yeah, like, I guess it is make or break, but it's more about, like, does prison work? So, like, for me, it worked. It changed my whole life. But for other women, well, like you say, it breaks you. You know, it literally. I'm literally contradicting what I just said. So I would have used different words, but actually, your way you said it is still true. It's still the same because it does break you because you end up going around that revolving door, and you know you lose everything. So it causes more damage than good in some scenarios. But everybody knows my story. Everyone knows it was the best thing that happened to me. But you've experienced it watching other ladies and knowing their full story, and you've also obviously, if you don't mind speaking about your daughter, you don't have to. You know, you've got different experiences on it.
Yes, I think that prison, for me, personal opinion again, disclaimer, everything that we say is our own opinions and not reflected in the prison service. But I think that prison works short term for, we're talking about women here, basically. I think prison works short term for women, but I think long term it can be really destructive. If they have a long sentence, I think it can be very destructive. I think women are forgotten about in prison if they're doing a long sentence. They're left alone more. You know, I don't feel that they're taken care of very well when they're doing longer sentences.
Yeah, see, I'm on the flip side of that, see, so I feel like there's more help if you're doing a longer sentence than there is a shorter sentence,
Right.
because when you're doing a shorter sentence, you can potentially lose everything. There's
True.
no help, so they go
True.
back out, they commit another crime, and then they're just going through that revolving door. So see, if I'd done 6 months, I don't think I would have changed.
Right. I see.
You know, I
Yeah.
went through a lot of shit, and it made me realise that I don't wanna lose my parents while I'm in prison. I don't want, to go through some of the things I went through. I'd done a course. Without that course, I never would have, got the
Yeah.
therapy that I needed. If I had done a shorter sentence, I never would have got on that course. So there's all that, kind of stuff there. But on also though, you are right, because when I look at women that are doing much longer sentences, like my best friend, rest her soul again, who passed away when I come out of prison, she was doing 17, or I think it was 17 or 18 years, one of the two. And she was just part of the system,
Yeah.
done all the courses you could do. What the hell you gonna do? She
Yeah.
served like thank you very much. She had served so many years that there's nothing else that she could do. So then in that scenario, when you're talking lives, double figures, you are 100% right. They are just forgotten about. They're just there. They're just
Well,
another number.
let's talk about Joe Dennehy, who's a very high profile prisoner, very dangerous lady. When I was there, she was in segregation from the moment I got there to the moment I left, and I've heard that she's been in segregation for most of her prison sentence. And I know she can mix with prisoners because I've seen her mix with prisoners, but it just takes much more of an effort from the whole prison service to accommodate that change for her because she is so high profile. But um, could she be rehabilitated, do you think, if she was given the time and the effort?
My problem with that. is I've had one-on-one interaction with Joe, so
Mm.
I'm not gonna comment on that because I've been reached out to by people and different stuff, and there's I will sit and say how we met and how we sort of had a giggle or whatever, but I will not speak on my opinion. Um, I wouldn't I have spoke about her, I'm not gonna sit here and lie, but I wouldn't speak about her that personal on a level. If it had been anyone else, then I would have 100% given my opinion, but I don't want to on that. But what I will say is she's not how am I gonna word this right? How that you say that she's dangerous. Okay, so she was okay, so everybody knows she's a serial killer. That's facts anyways. You can't not know. Um, well, I didn't know until I went to prison and people told me I never even heard of her before. So you say that she's a dangerous woman. So, but is she in prison? I mean, she
Well, she's not in
thank you,
prison because
Stacey.
she doesn't have the skills or the tools to be too well. I say that she could be dangerous in prison if given the right circumstances.
Uh,
But I think what would happen if you sat down and gave her your time as a mental health specialist? Could she change? Possibly.
Yeah, I mean that again. That's something that I wouldn't answer yeah or no. And but my point is if she wants, if all right, let's reword it. If anybody wants to kill someone in prison, they can.
Sure.
Okay, we're all entitled to razor blades. That's enough
Hmm.
to slit someone's throat
Yeah.
if you cut a ligature deep enough. So if she wants to be danger, she can. If anything, you would think, not my opinion, but you would think she's more dangerous in prison because she's got nothing to lose. So
True.
she went into segregation for 4 years because the prison shit their pants. This
Yeah.
is a serial killer. They don't know what to do. Now, if she wants to live in segregation or not, that's now on her terms. And
Right.
if she's done if I okay, let's speak about me hypothetically speaking. If I'd done 4 years in segregation, yeah, I wouldn't give a fuck about going back to segregation.
Hmm.
There's no death penalty here. There's there's no there's no what's the worst? What's the worst that someone's gonna do to you? Put you in segregation. But there's only so many years they're gonna keep you in there before they think, "Right, can we bring her back into the population again?" And they will do that, whether it's 5 years, whether it's 10 years, they're gonna do that with anybody. So she's got nothing to lose in prison. So for me, my opinion would be that for somebody like that, I'm not talking on a personal level, if we
Yeah.
was just talking about someone that I didn't know that done this crime, I would think that somebody like that would be more of a threat on the outside
Yeah.
than ins no, sorry, hang on, I'm getting confused with what I'm saying. Like,
Well,
she's got nothing to lose in prison and she's not done anything.
yeah.
Like, there's nothing you've never when have you ever heard of any of her do I mean, I've never heard, alright, I was only in prison for nearly 4 years, but I've never heard a story where she's attacked anyone or beaten anyone up or tried to kill them. So, it's like, if anything, if she was gonna yeah, I know what I'm trying to say, but I
But but
can't.
her but her being I know she's got to be in prison because of what she's done, obviously.
Yeah.
But do you think her being confined in the way that she has been confined is more detrimental to her mental health and her well-being, or is it more beneficial to her
Depends
mental
what
health?
kind of person you're dealing with. Are you dealing with somebody that had a breakdown and went and killed somebody, or are you with people, or are you dealing with an actual psychopath? Because that's what you got to think about.
Good point.
So you can't, I can't, I totally get the point you're saying, but without giving off anything that I feel through knowing her, I can't comment.
Okay.
So I'm just going, you got to think about it logically. If you deal let's take her out the equation and there's a woman in there for attempted murder.
Mhm.
She had a mental breakdown and she just attacked some runner, and luckily for the runner, even she says it, he managed to kick her off. Now she's serving, I think, again, around 20 years, something like that. It was whatever, it was manslaughter because obviously she didn't kill him. Um double figures she's serving anyway. Now, that was a mental breakdown. Could she be rehabilitated? Well, maybe with the right help, maybe with mental health workers, but how if you've got it in you to do it once, how do we know you're not gonna have a mental breakdown and do it again? And if she's a psychopath and that wasn't a mental breakdown, then ain't no help gonna help that. You know that anyway.
No,
You
it's
know that.
not. So basically, prison works as a confinement for the most dangerously ill people, I would imagine, because they have to be taken out of society because they're too dangerous to be left in society. But for people like who've had a mental breakdown and kill somebody and they're put in prison, I'm personally not so sure that keeping those sorts of people in prison helps. I think that there's got to be alternatives for people like that.
Yeah, no, 100%. Hi, Janet. No, we were early. It's my fault. I've had to jump on a bit earlier tonight. Okay, for example, my best mate Max, and she's in there for murder. But it was self-defense on an abusive partner for years and years and years.
Yeah,
So how does that help her being in there for double figures? So, you kind
I
of
don't think it does.
exactly, yeah, because you just get forgotten about, and it is tough when you have people you love watch and you go and they go and you see it over and over again and it's like, "Fucking hell, when's my time?" So that in that alone, like, you don't know that all the mental tortures that come with prison, it's not just about being locked away. It's that whole thing of like, "When's it my time? When's it my time?" And people just come and they leave you and they forget about you. I watch so many people just forget about her and not bother with her when they got out after all the promises and all
Yeah,
all the crap and all that. Like, that alone in itself is wounding.
exactly. I mean, take for example Sally Challen, who uh, murdered her husband because she was being abused and was in prison when I was there. She recently got out because she got a really good lawyer from the Women of Justice, and she managed to use the coercive control situation to get her out. Now, imagine if that hadn't come about and she'd been left in prison just to fester like most of them are. What would have happened to her? Would she have felt rehabilitated by just being left in there?
But does she even feel rehabilitated for the time she did do?
No, I think she feels
Do
broken.
Do you
I
know what I
think
mean? That's what I'm saying. So,
mm,
like, when it really depends on the amount of time, it depends on the crime, like, so she's gone away for murder, and do you know what? I met that woman, I'd
mm,
speak to her because 'cause she'd done I can't remember what it's called, but where they sell the clothes, they sell new stuff, but they get it like, an officer will go out and buy it from Primark, and they'll sell it to the like, cheap so that the women with no money or haven't got a family outside, they can buy underwear and stuff like that. She worked in that shop, and she
I
was
can't remember
lovely.
the name of the shop. I know what you mean.
This no, this was in, Send, but
Oh,
Bronzefield had it where, like, because I would donate, like, my old clothes, and then they would sell them really cheap. That was in the walkway, where Education and was, and that was in
yeah,
Bronzefield. But there was one in Send, that's where I met Sally, was in Send, and you
right.
know what? She's a lovely, lovely woman.
She
Don't
is.
know don't know her, like, ins and outs, and, she's she's how messed up must that be? Not only are you mentally abused by your partner for God knows how many years, you're beaten, whatever you are, and then you finally snap, you finally defend yourself, but you accidentally kill them, and then bang, um, hi everybody, and then bang, you're doing these double figures then, and like I said, after so many courses and stuff, you're just forgotten about. You are very right what you said. You are forgotten about doing these big sentences.
I think so. I think you really. She was forgotten about for sure for a long time, um, and I'm very surprised, but very, very thankful that she managed to get herself released because she didn't deserve to be in there because her husband brutalized her every single day of their marriage, and
Yeah.
she literally snapped. And you know, as I used to say to the people in Bronzefield when I was in there, we're all one step away from a crisis. All of us. It doesn't matter who you are. we are all one step away from a crisis. It could be me. It could be me tomorrow.
I think the worst thing is like if you put Bronzefield against Send, Bronzefield is just horrific. You know, you go to Send and you have a bit more freedom. It's got like, you know, little ponds and ducks running around and
Yeah.
squirrels, and you know, you got more of the countryside you can see out the window and stuff, and you know, your room's not you know, in Bronzefield you've got no windows you can open and stuff like that, and Send's just a little bit more, I don't know what you call it, homely, but it is home. Um, and it I think it's a bit different to Bronzefield in that. So in comparison, you just think of all the people that are in Bronzefield now. It's just chaos, isn't it? It's just chaos, and they're so quick to lock you in and bang and shut you up and lock you away. Whereas in Send, the officers have a little bit, not all of them, but there are some that have a little bit more time for you. You know, it's not so hectic. It's not so like fights kicking off
Yeah.
all the time, or people trying to kill themselves, or you know, getting locked up because of the
I
staffing
mean,
issue.
if they can't figure out alternatives for women in prison, then they ought to think about how to reform the prisons that they're going into. For example, I think I've said this before. I think the prison officers need to be trained in psychological therapies, and they ought to have psychological training. They ought to have dynamic security guards where you get one officer is a contact officer for, let's say, 5 or 6 people, and the officer is forced to engage with these people and treat them as humans, not as animals, because a lot of them do. Not saying which prisons, but a lot of them do because of lack of
Both.
training.
No,
Um,
that's not lack of training. That's arrogance. That's arrogance. That's nothing. It doesn't matter how much training they get. These officers, they do it because they're. Sorry, had to jump in on that one.
yeah, no, I agree. A lot of them are bullies. They really are, and I've experienced it. Oh, so many times in Bronzefield where they had no compassion, none whatsoever. And it has a massive detrimental effect on the women. They've already been punished by the courts. And
I
then they
know,
go into
100%.
prison and they're being repunished every day by the prison officers that aren't able to engage with them properly.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, Albin. Yeah, am I saying it right, Albin? Yeah, definitely. I totally agree with you on that one. Yeah, guys, and hit the like button. Come on, let's blow it up tonight. I never normally ask, to be fair, so let's hit the button. If you're new to my channel and you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button too. But we are talking about does prison work? Does prisons work? Like going to prison, does it work?
I don't think it does personally. I think there ought to. I mean, it's 2024. They've got a brilliant situation in Norway where um, like I mentioned to you a minute ago, they have contact officers where they're forced to engage with 3 or 4 uh, inmates. They're private security guards. They have their own showers in their room. Everything is more humanized. They've got their own key to the door. Everything is kind of normalized for them because they're going to be in there for a long time. There's a shop that they can go into if they're well behaved. They can go shopping around this shop, which is attached to the prison. Why can't we follow Norway? If we've got to lock people up, then why don't we do it properly?
Yeah, I'm just on the fence with it. Like I'm on the fence with it because it worked for me. So like my long-term friends that I met inside, um, like Lee, Nat, Emily, you know, the true crime whisperer, like obviously I didn't meet her in prison, but our stories, like, yeah, it helped us, you know, like Annalise, who I call Ron, that, you know, that saved her, that that saved her from the drinking because you'll hear her story soon anyway, but she got into a fight, you know, and it's But she knows now, you know, she could have ended up carrying on drinking and she could have killed somebody. Me, I would still be selling drugs now. You know, Emily, it worked because she got out of a real shit relationship. So, and okay, we might be 10%, it might be 10% out of 100 that it works for, and there does have to be some form of punishment. There does. I just think there needs to be maybe it's about the rehabilitation after prison. It's about who really works with these women that need to get their kids back, who gives them somewhere to live, who's at the other end of that gate. Um, because sometimes women work so hard on themselves in prison, even on the shorter sentences, when they hit that gate and they're no longer the prison's problem after they've done everything they could possibly give to them for free. Bearing in mind, this is all free. You know, the course I'd done, that was if I went to rehab outside, that'd be £1,000 a week. So it's all for free. It's the release of it. That's why they fuck up and it doesn't work. And then you think, well, actually, jail's not scary. I've done it once, I can do it again. So
But if you had all of these things set up outside of prison for you
I
without
wouldn't
going
do 'em.
to prison, would you have
I
still,
wouldn't have done it.
you wouldn't
I
have
wouldn't
done it?
I
Yeah,
wouldn't
but
have done
let's say that it had been part of the court order that you had to, or
it.
otherwise you would go to
What
prison.
I do I still would have carried on selling drugs. I
Oh,
skimmed jail twice. I
okay,
skimmed jail twice. I got community service. I hated it. I got a 9-month tag. I hated it, but I
right,
still did it.
right.
I knew I'd hit my lifeline. I knew I hit my lifeline on the second time. I knew for a fact I did. You don't get away with it twice. To be fair, the first time wasn't that big amount. It wasn't a jail sentence. Second time, I was borderline a jail sentence. You know, it wasn't unreasonable that I got away with it. It wasn't unheard of, sorry. But the third time, I know for a fact, um, hang on, let me just block this idiot. 2 seconds. Sorry. Literally, but I knew for a fact no matter what I got caught with, I was going to prison the next time, and all I done was escalated selling more drugs than I sold when I got caught. So
Okay,
that's me. That's me. That's not everybody. Some people
yeah,
might absolutely shit themselves and be like, actually, um, I don't want to go to prison. Actually, I would have rather that got but like that you know that chance not to go in.
that would be me.
So
That would be
yeah.
me. See, I
So
would rather
again,
go anywhere than go to prison. I don't mean as a work. I would rather go anywhere than be inside a prisoner, inside prison as a
hey
prisoner.
Nicole, yeah.
Definitely
But are you saying that from not knowing what you know now, or because of what you know now?
both. I never wanted to go to prison before I went to prison as a worker. As I
Yeah.
never wanted to go to prison as an offender before I went to prison. And when I after I found out I knew what I knew as a worker, I definitely didn't want to go to prison as an offender. No way.
Yeah, and I think 100%, you know, and I think you're right, and in saying that, you know, there'll be a lot of women that will literally crap their pants and be like, "No, I'm not gonna offend." But then this is where suspended sentences come in. This is where community service comes in. This is where tag comes in. Some A lot of people do actually get a chance. The problem you've got is 80 grand or 100 grand's worth of fraud sending someone to prison for to lose their kids, their home for a year when they could then have other things. You know, so I know women that are in there and this is their first offence ever and they've got in for fraud, or somebody pushed a girl backwards and she cut her head open. You know, that should have she shouldn't have been serving 3 months for that. If you're gonna do it, give her a big sentence. Like,
Mm,
so there's stupid things that is a bit tough because it's like, well, there was other options before you did that and put someone in prison and kind of like mess up their life massively.
yeah. And what about the victims of domestic violence that go to prison for refuge to get away from their perpetrators? Don't do you not think that a bit more exploration of how they ended up there in the first place might have helped them before they ended up in prison? Because when they leave prison, and like you said, their house has been taken away and everything's been taken away, the only place that they can go back to usually is the perpetrators. And that's again starting another revolving door of crime, isn't it?
Oh god, yeah. Yeah, 100%, yeah. I think there's so many I think you could go back and forth on this one all night long.
I
Like,
think good. It
obviously,
really
we will
depends on the
still obviously
person, doesn't
discuss
it?
it, but
Yeah,
it's like I'll say something that makes sense, then you'll say something that makes sense, and it's like it's mad. My if it don't interview killers, it goes way off what you stand for. Yeah, do you know what? I totally respect your opinion, Nicole, and stuff on that. I really do, and I kind of get where you're coming from. At the same time, I am going a little bit off track here, guys. But this is to do with Alexander Hamilton. Now, I've said before, being in prison with murderers, and I've hung out with them. When you go into prison, you don't look at anybody for their crime unless they're a paedophile, or
that's right.
yeah, so you then just become a person. You see each other for the person that you are. Now, until you experience that firsthand, Nicole, I don't think anyone will ever understand where I'm coming from, and this is why I give him the time of day. Um,
Absolutely.
I'm gonna stand by what I do and I get it, and if I lose people over it, I totally, totally respect that. You know, I've actually had quite a few new subscribers from the last one that I done with him, because obviously I can see how many new subscribers I get to each video I do. I respect everyone's opinion on here, and I don't wanna lose anybody, but at the same time, if you don't continue to watch, I'm gonna stay true to myself. I'm gonna continue to do what I do. Do I believe what he done was right? No, I don't. I don't think that because he killed a copper, I think if it whether he killed a copper or a bloody train driver or whatever, murder's murder. It's not okay. I don't agree with murder, but I do agree with that people make mistakes, especially coming from the world that I grew up in. You know, I could have been there. I could have been very, very close to being in a situation where somebody was in a situation. I wasn't. So I'm just from a different world, and I believe that I could get to know him and I could be so wrong. And, and I could realize that, he's not who I get the vibe of that he's off. But, for me, everyone deserves a chance. And yeah, I just got to stay true to how I feel on this one. And like I said, I could be so wrong. We're all wrong and stuff, but a lot of people are liking it. A lot of people are interested in his story. He's a very humble guy, and he's not there trying to make excuses. If you actually watch his stories, he's like, he's literally like, I'm I'm not blaming it on drugs. I'm not blaming it on anything. So, I got to obviously we'll find out more that day. He could have felt threatened. He could have had a gun at him. It was a gun for a gun, and he's just done it. Bang! It could have been, I don't know, but I'm not here to judge, man. There's only one person
It's
that can
not black
judge
and white,
on
is it,
judgment.
Fran? It's not
It's
black
really
and
not.
white. No.
It's really not. And when you get hooked up in gangs, stuff happens. But we'll stem deeper into his story,
Yeah.
and I'll be the judgment on that, whether I want to continue my journey with him. But as it stands right now, I literally have love for you and I appreciate Nicole, because you're always on my channel, you're always in my lives, and I really do appreciate your support. I really do. But I'm gonna continue with this one until till I feel different or I hear something different that I don't like.
I mean,
Sorry
who'd
about
have thought that I would have ever been sitting down next to a serial killer, a woman that murdered a prison officer, actually, um, and having a cup of tea and having a conversation like I was sitting next to my two best mates. And then you leave and you
Thank you,
think,
guys.
did I really just do that? But they are normal. They are normal under their circumstances. They're pretty normal. They've got a story, they've had a life, they've had a childhood. You know, they've had a history. We've all got a history. They went down one road, we went down another. They ended up in prison. They're paying for it. You know, we're not saying what they did was right, but as I said, we're all
Exactly.
one step away from a crisis. I'll say it again, hoping that, but for the grace of God go I, that we never end up in the situation that they've ended up in. But somebody's got to talk to them. Somebody's got to listen to them. You know, they're still human at the end of the day, and they are
Yes.
definitely paying for what they've done, without a doubt. He's on death row. I mean, it can't get any worse than that.
Oh, that's cute that your mum went to visit a friend on death row in US when she was 18 and 81 years old. That's cute. So, yeah, like I said, yeah, I could go on and on. I've already had a ramble about it, like I said, and I do respect it. And do you know what I like, Nicole? I like that you're vocal, and I like that you've come on and you've expressed how you feel about it. And obviously, we'll clear it up, and I like that as well because I do appreciate people's opinions, whether it agrees with mine or not.
Of course.
You still got a voice too, and you're entitled to feel that the way that you feel.
Yeah, Jenny, you're absolutely right. Everybody does have a story to tell. The story of how they got there, the situation, how it leads to where it goes. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Exactly.
Mm,
Evening, Tom. And do you know what's powerful as well? Like for me, yeah, because if let's just say there's a teenage kid that stumbles across this one day and they're in a gang and they listen to his story and then they realise, shit, that could be me. I'm rolling around with a knife. I could end
yeah,
up, all right, not on death row because we're in England, but you don't know. You don't know. You got no idea. She thought,
exactly.
she, my friend Karen writes to her, oh, found your channel so interesting and education you're doing really my thank you, Stacey. That means a lot. No, I appreciate it from all of you. And that's it. I get a lot of good people are liking him. So I like him. I don't know, I don't know much more than what you guys know. I try to we record like a couple of weeks ahead. So obviously I hear the story before you guys do. Shut up, British. 1-0. Yes, yes, okay.
What's everybody else's opinion on whether they think prison works or not? That'd be interesting to hear, Fran. USA.
Everyone's gone quiet. Mate, I like the USA. Scoreboard.
Oh, okay.
It's gonna be one of them ones. I've already blocked
It is,
someone.
yeah.
Everyone's gone quiet now.
Prison
Um,
definitely does not work. Yeah, yeah.
I'm good, Tom, thank you. I hope you're well.
I think prison removes people from society that have done wrong and confines them as a punishment. It works in that way because society do not want people in society that have committed crime and that are harmful to the public. So yes, it does do what it's supposed to do by removing them. It's what happens inside the prison that I find abhorrent sometimes. It's what happens to the women inside the prison. That's what I find challenging around, does it actually work?
Mm. Bronzefield does not work. Bronzefield does not work, but Bronzefield is a remand centre and everyone's just an animal caged up. Um, ah, I'm gonna get rid of this one because he's boring me now. 2 seconds.
But there are lots of educational opportunities in Bronzefield.
Is there?
I think
What?
so. I
No,
think
all of I've spoken about this, but all of his all of their certificates are fake, yeah? They
you
don't no,
mentioned
no
you did mention that.
so
Yeah.
it's facts. I keep saying it every freaking time. It's facts. The bit of paper they give you, and I'm gonna get a piece of paper out. Remind me, message me over the
Okay.
weekend and remind me so I can get this out. Now, I will get you a picture of that out, and I'll get you and you get City and Guilds. Is it City and Guilds? In
Yeah.
Send, you get City and Guilds qualifications. Now, in Bronzefield, the English and Maths and the IT courses you do are it's a piece of paper saying you've done level 1 or 2. It's a photocopy piece of paper. They bought a name, which probably cost 50 quid, and made up a name, and that's it. The girls went out, and when they went and took it to like whatever they were doing, they said, this is not even real. This doesn't mean anything. So
Oh,
what they do in Bronzefield,
mm,
education wise, is exactly the same in every single prison. So you've got IT, you've got English, you've got maths, except for you can't get a qualification of a legal, like a legit qualification.
right.
So, for example, years and years ago, I wanted to do a uni course. Now I had to do the access to uni. I had to get my level English and one in whatever in maths first of all. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if I went to do this access course with my bit of paper, they would have howled at me because it's no such thing. I can go and do this myself. So what you do in there is it's a mockery really, because these girls will think they're doing something great,
Yeah.
and then when they get out, they're going to realize this doesn't mean anything. This is not
Right.
real. But oh hey, I
So
know
is
it's
it just
ridiculous.
a time filler?
So it's good because the girls are learning to read and write. They're learning their maths, so that's great. That's
Yeah.
brilliant because you're not. So when you go into prison, you're not allowed to get a job, and the first thing you do is your English and maths. Now, if you don't get a level 1 or whatever it is, you have to take English and maths as your job.
Right. Okay.
So it's good but that's the same in any prison.
Yeah.
Any prison you go in. So when I went from Bronzefield to Send, I was like, "But I've done it." And I was like, "No, you haven't. No, you haven't. You gotta do it here, and then you can get it. Otherwise you're doing this as your job."
Yeah.
So it's horrific in the aspect of these girls are gonna be excited, and when they get out, they're gonna think, "Oh, yeah, I've done something." It's gonna mean fuck all, but if they're struggling to read or write and they've been on the streets and living rough and all this, it's brilliant because it gives them a boost confidence, and it might give them that step towards going to get a job. But qualification wise, it's not worth a wank. It's all fake.
Right. Okay.
Excuse my language.
Yeah. What a disappointment.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. And these girls think that they can go out and do something. Um,
Yeah.
But when you get out, you can't. Like it's not. You can't. The thing is, all right, they can go and do it all over again, but then that means you've got to go and do a college course and
Yeah.
whatnot, and then and it's embarrassing for the girls that don't actually know. For the girls that don't actually know that it's not real, it's
Yeah.
embarrassing for it. Let's have a look at what's
So
been
what
said.
alternatives do we have outside of prison that could be that could the women could be diverted to instead of going through prison, let's say for a 6-month sentence, which is, as we both know, ruins their lives because when they come out they've got nothing. So what alternatives do you think that would be useful to those sorts of women?
Are you talking to me or are you asking the viewers here?
All of you included, Fran. What do you
I
think?
look. Do you know what I think personally? I think Joe. I think in some take away the short. Okay. Alright, so women okay, let's start with domestic violence and stuff like that. I think there should be a separate prison for these women, and I
Right.
feel like they should have proper psychiatrists. They should have help to be able to be, um, to learn confidence, to believe in theirself, to get a little course, a little education, to realise, bear with me, sorry, bear with me one sec. Sorry, I think it's my mum carers. You're gonna have to just
Yeah,
carry
no
on
problem.
talking without me for a
So I
second,
think that
sorry.
Rachel has just quite rightly said there, therapeutic communities, which is probably spot on, Rachel. Absolutely spot on. And I think that they don't, I'm not sure that they have them in the UK unless anybody knows any different, but I think that's more of an American thing possibly than a UK thing. Does anybody know if there's any therapeutic communities over here? I know that they can go to centres over here, especially in London. I know of a couple, but they don't live there. Oh, okay, Rachel. Separate prisons for DV. Okay, which is a good start. But I know in I was in one when I was 8. Oh, okay. Very fizz. I was in one when I was 18 in the UK. London Castle. I've never heard of that, but that would be interesting. I might look that up. Are there many of these around, or are they are there a small amount, one or two, or Castle Hospital in Richmond? Right, okay. Is that a hospital or is it a therapeutic community? Castle Hospital in Richmond. I must look that up. I know of 4. She's on the outside. You, Fran, should start one up. More mental health support needed. Absolutely, Lisa. 100%. Yeah,
Cheers.
absolutely. Yeah,
Sorry.
definitely. I mean, the girls are saying that we need more therapeutic communities for women, like domestic violence support and stuff like that.
Yeah,
And,
100%.
and somebody said, I can't remember who it was, that they have a lot of these separate prisons in America for
Oh,
women.
right, okay.
So,
That's good.
family
Sorry.
unit. Okay.
Sorry
Oh,
about that.
okay. A
No,
family.
actually, they're actually really good. I can't fault them. They're just like, just saying my mum's not drinking fluids. And then so she's like, went like to change her and that they haven't had to the last few nights, which is not good because obviously she'll get an infection and land up back in hospital. But
Right.
it's so refreshing to actually have nice carers that actually literally care enough to want to say something. You know, when they
Yeah.
just come in
Yeah.
and do their thing. You always worry, don't you? You hear the horror stories,
Yeah.
but these lot of men, they actually generally care.
Good. Good. That must be very reassuring.
Yeah.
They
Um,
can get
y-
help they need and have thought of lots of issues in my life. Stacey, I'm sorry to hear that. Really sorry to hear that.
no, it's not good, man. Yeah, she is a true
There
crime
she is.
whisperer.
The true crime whisperer is on. Yeah, she's here.
Yes, so I know now how to do a live with more than 2 people, so we will set something up. We'll have to get we can get the true crime whisperer on, we can get Lee on, we can do a four-way. I know people who have been in prison come out and been like revolving door going in and out. Yeah, the prisons was the making of them. I think it all depends on the person there. 100% happy. Like I totally agree with that because that's the problem. Because first of all, there is a lot of help in prisons if you're doing a long enough time. I will say that you do need to be in doing a bit of a stretch to be able to get the help. But the
You do.
problem is you've got to want to. Like I said, if I'd have got in 15 years ago, 10 years ago, there's no way. I would have been in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it does depend. You're very, very right there. It does depend on the person.
Yeah. And the length of the sentence, because obviously I can only speak for the mental health services, but their waiting list is as long as your arm. So you've got
Yeah.
to be a certain amount of time before you'll get to see anybody in the mental health section.
Oh, that's really shit, Stacey, by the way.
God, I hope you didn't have too many dishes to do.
Oh yeah, I spilled the beans. Was you on it from the beginning? I don't know if you heard or not. Everyone's gone all quiet now. It's like everyone, you're talking and you're well deep in comment. Everyone's like bang, 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 and then when you stop talking and you're waiting, it's like nobody wants to talk anymore. All the questions are gone. I hope
I
you
think
got your
I think
gun.
the basic thing that they're saying is that there needs to be more mental health support and more therapeutic communities for women on the outside. And I agree. I think that would be very helpful to a lot of women that were genuinely wanting the help, as you say, Fran. They've got to want the help.
Mm,
And also for women that are going in for short sentences, maybe that could be diverted into a therapeutic community instead of prison.
100%. There are different options and everyone's different and it's hard to fend for everyone's needs and wants and stuff like
Of
that, and
course.
I think there's probably women that are like that may watch this now and be like, "I never got that community service chance. I got slapped straight to prison." It's a bit like when I went away for the first time and the second time I got done for driving was disqualified, you know, if we went by the rule book, I should not have gone to prison that time. So they just locked me up, whatever. So it's like if I'd lost everything, you know, it's like, well, it's definitely not gonna say unfair because I broke the law. Fucking end off regardless. Like, so it's not unfair at all. But if you go by the rule book, it's unfair. So what if I'd lost everything and what if I'd done this and done that? So I think there's so many different scenarios, and the problem is judges can do what the hell they want
Yeah.
when they want, that it's everyone's circumstances are different. So it's such a hard one, and it's, you know, like, people that do go away for the 10th time of shoplifting, like, come on, look into why. Instead of going, "Oh, you've done this offence, you're a reoffender, you're never gonna change." Hang on, have a look why. Do they need to go into rehab? Do they need fucking housing? Like, is there other things that these person need? I think I'll tell you what it is, I'll tell you what they need. They need probation ain't enough. You can sat and chat a whole load of crap. They actually need somebody to sit down with you separate to that, whether it's a mental health worker, whether it's a psychiatrist or whatever, and go, actually, do you guys let's see what is actually going on.
Mm.
Like, let's see what's really, really going on behind whatever story you're talking. Like,
Yeah.
put you into a thing where they come, because it might just be that this girl's robbed 10 times because she's homeless and needs somewhere warm to stay.
Yeah. Or her perpetrator's making her go out and commit crime because
Mhm.
doesn't he'll beat the crap out of her when she gets home.
That's what I mean. You just don't know, do you? It's so much, and then there's not enough stuff offered. So, you know, what if they put, like, someone's done this and then they go, right, what's going on? And they break down. I'm terrified. I've not been able to talk to no one. I'm trapped in the house unless I'm out stealing.
Yeah.
And then it's like you know, I need help, and that's their escape route. They're not gonna, you know, they need to go, well, actually, we've got the thingy house. Look, this girl's admitted to us. We don't want. Let's not put her to prison. Let's put her to a safe house. Let's rehabilitate her where she can't have her life. She is being punished, but in a rehabilitation house with the right support, the right care. So not necessarily where you're locked in a cell, but you're not allowed out of the house. You're not allowed to leave the premises. So you're still kind of being punished, but with the right support.
Yeah. What if you didn't commit a crime but you were in a relationship with that person? What's that? I don't understand what.
You got nothing to go on the outside. Why would you want to leave? Mate, it's
Yeah.
true,
That's
because
true.
such a good point, because in prison you build your own little family and you
Mm.
haven't got to worry if you don't have money. Like, you'll earn £10 a week, and if that's all you got, then you know, you're fed 3 times a day. And in Send, it was a bit, in Bronzefield it was a free for all, everyone was scavenged for food, but in Send you get fed so well. Guaranteed at the end of every landing, there would be crisp sandwiches where people just didn't have them from dinner, so you'd never go hungry. So
Mm.
even if you only had your £10 wages, you didn't have to worry about treats or anything. You don't have to worry about heating. You don't have to worry about any of that stuff.
Yeah. But they were, in my experience, they were always hungry in Bronzefield. The women were always
Yeah,
hungry.
yeah, because they didn't. The dinner portions were horrific.
Mm.
They really were. They really were shit. Good question. What if you didn't commit a crime, but you were in a relationship with that person? So it depends on the crime. So if you're going out with somebody that's selling drugs and you know they're selling drugs and you've got drugs in your house that you live with them, you're going to prison too, even though they're the ones selling them. You know, if your boyfriend or girlfriend went out shoplifting and you weren't there, then that doesn't really make no difference. So
I think, as the true crime whisperer said, that when she was in there, she was better off than on the outside. And I think a lot of women do feel that. A lot of women do feel that. So when they come out, it's even worse for them because there's nothing out
mm,
there for them in the first place. So prison for them might be a safe haven while they're in there, but it screws them up within in the long term when they come out because they've got to start again, basically.
yeah. Sorry, I was just reading the comments at the same time as you were speaking. Safe face for some, for me it was not. I was a money earner. Stopped in my tracks from the life I was living.
Yeah, I think it really does depend on the individual person, doesn't it? And I think that they need to be assessed before they go into prison. I think that's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah, I think that's definitely
With
right.
sentence reports that need to be looked at and looked at thoroughly before they go in to find out what their history is, like you said, Fran. Where would they be better off? Are they willing to learn? Are they willing to do anything to stay out of prison? What are they willing to do? Or do they just want to go to prison to escape a perpetrator or anybody else?
Sorry, I'm listening. I'm trying to read. I was just reading Claire's onwards, but safe face for something. I'll reread this one out. No, I get it. I get it. And
Yeah, psych
well,
evaluation, Samantha, that's true. I beg to be
sorry,
safe
that's my true what back. This
over time.
bloke. Yeah, a lot of girls used to say to me they'd come in the winter. They'd come in because it was so cold on the streets. And okie dokie, be safe. Trust me.
But this is a question to you, Corinne. Would you, if you got the help that you needed prior to going into prison, would you have taken the help that you were offered if it was the correct help rather than going into prison?
So what the point is so I'll give a. I'm not saying your example wasn't great, but see me, if you was offered help, would have you taken that help and believe you would have changed, or do you think you would have still landed up in prison? So like I was given the chances with community service and stuff like that. All right, it wasn't help, but in my situation, it wasn't that. It wasn't help that I needed. It was just a fucking knock round the head. But I still went to prison knowing I still like carrying on committing a crime even though I didn't go to prison. So it's not quite the same scenario, but do you think that's trying to
Yeah.
word it a bit better, that was all.
The true crime whisperer says, yes, she begged for help. I went to the hospital and asked him to section me before I even got into trouble. Yeah.
No, this is the thing, Samantha, that's the problem, like, people do, and I know they do, and they don't help, and then you snap. Um, no, we're not, Lily.
No.
And then you snap, and then you're the one being punished.
Mm, God. That's,
It's mad though, isn't it? And then other people get sectioned for the most stupidestness. Like the most like the people that really want help and they're begging for it don't get it, but then other people can they just do one stupid little thing. One they just might snap and just act a little bit out irrational and then they're unrational. Oh my god. My little brain's tired. It's been a long week. Women mental health hit a grey area where you're not eligible to be sectioned and intense
yeah, that is very true too, very fizz. Yeah.
And this is the thing, even with men and women, is this is where suicide then falls into place.
Yeah.
What?
Or if there's no room in the mental health facilities, they'll just take them to prison and they'll end up in prison. I mean, how is that going to help them when they shouldn't
And
be in the first place?
that's another thing as well. I think the reason you guys get rejected, they sell this stuff, but it's actually because they don't have the beds.
Mm,
Because I've said before, that literally that, I said before that the officer said that the beds are full, so when they commit a crime, well, not even a crime, when they do something that is unsafe for them to stay on the streets, then they get put in prison because there's no rooms.
In the end, I did so to get prison because I'm not.
The thing is, the amount of money they plough into a prison to hold a prisoner there every year, what's it, 50 grand a year? Something
Must
like
be.
that. They could build places.
Yeah, they definitely could. Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, Lisa, like that's what totally right. But when do you know what? Like the people like you that do that actually genuinely care. Like I appreciate you, and I know a lot of people that have like people that you probably care for. Like I know they'll appreciate you tonight. Like these guys, I'll always say how much I'm grateful. I always tell them they do an amazing job, and I appreciate that. You know, just the little things like tonight. They don't have to tell me. They don't have to make me aware that my mum's not drinking any fluids. Like they could just be like, let's clean our ass and get out of here. So, um, I appreciate you. And it is just a shame that there's so many arseholes out there that don't, and then that's what gives you guys a bad name.
Mm. Yeah.
Right, have we got any more questions tonight, guys? Any normal questions?
Normal.
I know, I'm really sorry that I've cut it a bit early tonight, but hang on. In other prisons, news IP prisoner Danny G from Liverpool has landed in Cat D and is getting ready for release. Proper support.
Yeah. Fairy Fizz, you're absolutely correct. 100%. Mm-hmm. Well, I think that's probably come to the end of your hour, Fran.
Yeah, sorry guys.
Weekend plan.
Working tomorrow, helping my friend move after work, getting a dog that I don't want. No. It's gonna be I'm gonna have a little pow on probably. I sat on my lap on the actually, to be fair, he's the one if you watch the Nick Yaris interview I done, you know, when the little puppy that he's not a puppy, a lie, he's 3. You know, when he jumped up on Nick's lap,
Yeah.
and he's like, that's my friend's dog.
Oh.
So, yeah. So I'm getting a new friend come and stay with me for temporary.
Bye, Fairy Fizz. Thanks for your.
Thank you, Fairy Fizz. Sorry.
What? Fran, you look exhausted apparently.
All right, thanks. Don't rub it in. No, yeah, I am tired. I'm not gonna lie. It's been a long week. It's been a long week. Works a lot, and yeah, just trying to juggle everything else as well. I just need a good night's sleep. I'll have a lay in on Sunday. I'll be brand new again. Oh,
Yes, he said
100% the
100%.
drugs. Definitely, definitely. Really, really do. That's a huge. Well, that's got to be 60% of crime related.
Yeah, definitely. Mm, yeah.
No, thank you guys as always for tuning in. We
Bye.
will be back anyway. Yeah, Sunday night I'll be over on the True Crime Whisperers channel at 8:30. So tune in then. I might even jump on. I might
True
even
Crime
jump on.
Whisperer.
Thank you. I'll speak to you tomorrow anyway. And yeah, I might even jump on and do a little live tomorrow night if I'm bored because I haven't actually got no plans to do. Oh no, actually I have got plans. I'm lying. Right, I'll shut up. I'm talking crap as usual. Um, yeah, so I'm helping my mate move, so I don't know how late that's gonna be. But yeah, for Sunday evening, but not on my channel, guys. So if you're not subscribed to her, please jump over and subscribe so you don't miss it. Thank you, Glenna, as always. I do really appreciate you coming on.
Oh,
We'll be back on
Fran,
next week anyway.
my pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah, I think we're coming up with Lee's coming on Wednesday. I think me and Lee are doing a live on my channel about 8:30 on Wednesday. I'll post it all up the day before anyway.
My
We might
friend's
have
Thursday, isn't she?
Yes, I was about to say we might have something rolling on Thursday, so that'll be good, and you'll be on there as well because we can do the old,
Oh, definitely. Oh, we'll have to work that out before we can.
yeah, we'll do a trial run. Maybe what we could do is,
Bye,
um
Samantha.
see you later, Samantha. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, everybody. What we'd do is we could do a test. Look, Monday night we'll just do a random one. We'll just do a test run on it and see how it works.
Fine.
I'll see if someone else can jump on it with us and just. Oh yeah, well I get the true crime whisperer to jump on it, so we'll do it. All three of us can do it. We'll do a test on Monday night.
Okay, Fran.
Thank
Thank
you,
you, Claire.
Claire. Thank you for joining. What's that? Hang on.
Bye, Rachel. Thanks for your input.
London. Fireworks in London. Fireworks in London. I'm just trying to think what she was on about. Lady that was watching fireworks in London.
I think she came on the camera and there was fireworks and she was looking out the window. I think something like that. I kind of remember that too.
What, on my channel?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, only for a split second.
Ah, yeah, but yeah, she's done she done the very first Lucy Letby video with me a while back.
Bye,
So
Lisa. Yeah, she was sat on the balcony. I remember that too.
yeah, that's Lee. Yeah, Wednesday night on my channel. I think it's 8 or 8:30. I can't remember what me and Lee agreed, but I will do. I'll post something the day before. Cool. I don't remember yesterday. Yeah, that's so lovely.
Right,
Yeah, she's spot on. All the girls that come on here are spot on. But yeah, right. Thank you again for coming on. I appreciate it. Thank you,
very well.
everybody that stayed tuned in, and we'll speak to you soon. Take care.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.
I can't leave. I'm not leaving it now.